Search Google Maps for the words church in Atlanta, and you'll get results similar to those displayed here on this map. Take notice of all the red dots. Each one represents a local worship facility. That's right, every one of them is a church. A bit populated, wouldn't you say? Start with your eyes on Atlanta and travel east on Interstate 20. You'll see Douglasville, Georgia. That's my area. My church is one of the dots in the cluster of dots covering the city's name. A recent demographic study revealed that there are 403,000 people within a 15-mile radius of the Church at Chapel Hill who either never attend church or are declining in their faith. That's a lot of hurting people within only 15 miles. And keep in mind that this area has nowhere near the population density of a city, say like Atlanta. It seems as if there is a church on every corner in every city in America. And if that's even remotely true, it makes me wonder, how effective are these churches? Shouldn't a nation with this many extensions of Christ look more like its Savior? I have a few suggestions that I'd like to share on the subject. Imagine with me what would take place if all these individual churches stood together as the church. What if every dot in Douglasville and Atlanta, from Georgia to California, and even around the world, put their denominational differences aside and served the local communities? Can you imagine the cultural influence the church would have? Can you fathom the resources, the talent, and the volunteers that would be available to her? She would stand with one voice and actually be heard. And all the church buildings in all the world could not contain the amount of lives that would be reached. The folks in Acts 2 got it right. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe, and many wonders and miraculous signs were done by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. And get this, selling their possessions and goods they gave to anyone as he had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. Now imagine with me if the church stood in unity like the believers in Acts. Did you notice how they sold their possessions and gave to anyone who had need? You see, God designed the local church, and it seems to be His intent that she take care of her local community. This would certainly minimize the need for such big government, wouldn't it? See, God's heart is for the brokenhearted, the captive, the poor, the fatherless, and the widow, the orphan. And we could serve them so much better if we were only united together. Well, back to the map. What if each dot were to partner with a few dots next to it and collectively concentrate their focus and resources to the local community? I'll tell you what happened. That map would look a lot more like Verizon's coverage claims, spread in red across our nation. In John 17, Jesus prayed that we, the people who make up the church, would stand together as one. Let's be an answer to His prayer.